Shonen Jump has a new hit series on its hands. Or, well, it did 3 years ago when Blue Box was released in the magazine. Now, in 2024, Blue Box is a Shonen Jump staple, a series that somehow remains crazy good every week. Or so I'm told. I never did check out Blue Box while it was only in manga form, despite plenty of praise from friends, but its anime is finally here, and somehow it's even better than I expected. For reference, this video was originally supposed to just be a short, mostly due to an elaborate inside joke I have with my friend and Blue Box president Taserlad. But then, unfortunately, I really liked the first episode of Blue Box. Really liked the first episode of Blue Box. You could say it was one of the best first episodes I've seen in ages, even. It had all the characteristics I want in a shonen romance story without any of the genre trappings that often put a damper on my enjoyment. It's clearly working within constraints. It's a boy meets girl romance in Weekly Shonen Jump. I'm not expecting some life-changing piece of fiction, but everything it did so well. I was surprised at how immediately I bought in and cared for these characters, how quickly I found myself physically reacting to things that were happening on screen, gasping when Shinatsu is revealed to be moving in with Taiki's family, grabbing my head when she thinks Taiki likes Hina in episode 2. The level of fun I am already having watching this cannot be undersold. And I think that comes down to how crisp the setup is, how it immediately hooks you throughout that first episode. It's simple stuff, really. Establish a connection between our love interests in the opening scene, immediately signaling a goal for Taiki and the audience, and then build on it throughout the episode in 3 natural but increasingly emotional moments. It's remarkable how well paced the opening episode is. It gets us from Shinatsu not even knowing Taiki's name to living in his home in 23 minutes without feeling remotely rushed or ham-fisted. It obviously makes sense why Taiki would have a crush on Shinatsu, but it also makes sense that Shinatsu, a genuinely good person, would want to know who he is, the other person showing up so early to practice every day. They seamlessly weave from incidental meeting to awkward show of kindness to friendly chat to emotional confession. Not an openly romantic confession, of course, but you can see how well the story guides their relationship through a natural progression from strangers to friends, building a wonderful bedrock to launch the rest of the story. There's no wasted movement. Anything not directly focused on the two of them is still there in service of the setting, the sport's motivations, or this gremlin. But it all starts with our protagonist. I really like Taiki. He's not just a reader stand-in, and his only goal is not just to date Shinatsu. I know these are low bars, but he doesn't just clear the bar. We learn everything we need to know about Taiki's character simply from the opening of the story. It takes a dedicated and admittedly special person to be the first, or second, athlete into the gym every morning. Regardless of whatever squealing he's doing on screen about his crush, we know that when it comes down to it, he has discipline and drive. That's a great core to build from for both a sports and romance lead. I also think he's the right level of awkward, particularly for this story and especially for a cohabitation story, but without being grating. It's natural awkwardness, struggling to talk to the girl you like, but powering through, maybe regretting some embarrassing things you said the day before. Girl in room, girl in room, girl in room. Everything he does is very real, and we'll see how long that lasts given the extravagance of cohabitation as a romance plot, but given how it's been handled so far, I'm hopeful. They've had the chance for the usual low-hanging fruit and have mostly avoided it for now. It helps that while building out the backbone of the romance, they've so effortlessly built up a pretty compelling sports plot as well. I'm invested in seeing Taiki perform well on the badminton team. I want to see him make nationals, and I literally just met him. It provides secondary motivation that allows the story to breathe a bit and not have to focus on romance 24/7. It creates a group of characters that are able to exist around each other in a more normal setting, not just in relation to who is trying to date who. It's not just the writing that creates this effect, though. There's real on-screen chemistry between these characters, and the seiyu's performances are what sell it. I was lucky enough to go to the Blue Box panel at Anime Expo this year, and the chemistry the voice actors for Taiki and Hina had on stage comes through so clearly on screen. In episode 1, they don't even share that much screen time together, but it's immediately clear what their relationship is and how they treat each other. And then that shopping street scene in episode 2, I can already tell that Hina is going to take an early lead here for a lot of the audience. All of the core cast play off each other well, though. Chiaki Kobayashi has been great in his role as a straight man, and I do not want to downplay the job Reina Ueda is doing as Chinatsu, completely bringing that character to life and making it easy to understand why Taiki feels the way he feels. And of course, an extra hat tip to Shoya Chiba's emotional range as Taiki. He's already displayed so much in such a short amount of time. Really just a brilliant gambit from Blue Box. Have the writing make me like your characters, then the voice actors make me like them even more, so I guess it's time for the animation to just finish driving this stake into my heart. I'm rating this with just the first 2 episodes out, so let's hope it holds up, but the production has been absolutely spectacular so far. Given how grounded the material is, it didn't need to go above and beyond to deliver the story adequately, but so far it has. The character designs capture the simple beauty of Koji Miura's work and really, at the end of the day, are just nice to look at. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Looking at this show makes me happy. The direction has been quality as well, seamlessly transferring a great first chapter into a great first episode. I wouldn't say Yuichiro Yano has blown me away with an entirely unique approach to this adaptation, but they very skillfully adapted the manga material's pace and tone into this new medium. With a whole 25 episodes set for this season, it feels like we're in good, steady hands as of now. We'll have to wait and see if the show holds up in any of the more strenuous sports scenes, but so far so good. I hope to see many more well-directed sparkles moving forward. Blue Box, the anime, is off to a great start. Honestly, a better start than I ever could have anticipated. And given how much excitement people have for the rest of the story, I can only imagine how it will improve and grow throughout these 2 cores. I really didn't expect to be this along for the ride, but at this point, I guess I am. I'm ready to see what crazy good places this story takes me, and, well, I have an inkling it may be somewhere special.